Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. How are you all doing? Happy new month. Happy October. October is known for two things that I do talk about, but I mainly talk about domestic violence. But it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes, yes, yes. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I just want to come on and encourage you all. As you know, that I come on and talk about domestic violence often. Why? Because there was no one there speaking up and speaking out when I was going through. And it's my assignment to speak up and speak out about domestic violence as often as possible for those that are afraid to speak up. So I am a voice for the voiceless. Um, and I wanted to come on starting today because it is the first day of Domestic Violence Month to encourage you to pay attention to the people that is in your space. And when I say space, I mean whether church, work, friends, frenemies, just pay attention to just people that you're around overall. Domestic violence happens between intimate partners, and it happens every second of every day. I hate the fact that there's only 1 month geared towards domestic violence awareness, but I come on. You can hear me talk about it as often as maybe a couple times a month. Why? Because it happens every day. Domestic violence just don't happen 1 month out of the year. It happens 365 days, every second of each day. And again, um, domestic violence happens between intimate partners. And the type of domestic violence is emotional, is physical, sexual, um, financial. There's so many so many type of abuse to where, of course, I will continue to talk about them all as we continue to go about this month. But I'll continue to talk about it even after this month has passed. But you hear more about the physical than you do anything else. And people assume, because I've had women to say to me, well, he's not hitting me, but he's doing, if he's just verbally abusing you, abuse is abuse. It's just that physical can turn into something much worse. So we have to be mindful that when we're in that and we're talking to someone about what they're going through, be mindful that everyone is not on the same strong level as you may be. They may not be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead on and just move beyond this and get out of this. No, you have to talk to them and see where they're at and help them move beyond so that you can help them be set free. It isn't easy, trust me. It took me years, but when I was set free, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was hard. And it was hard because I never thought I would end my marriage, but I couldn't continue doing what I was, you know, going through what I was going through. I didn't want to feel like a failure. People ask all the time, not just of me, but other people when I've been on panels, they ask the question, why would one stay? People stay for many reasons. People stay because of financial. They stay because they have nowhere else to go. They may be a housewife, or he may have threatened them in a way to where if she left, he was going to make her life a living hell. So sometimes women are able to leave right away for different reasons. And I hate when I hear people say, that couldn't be me because da 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 da. Well, heck, I didn't think it would be me. Just like a lot of the other women didn't think it would be them. But it happened. No one goes into a relationship with someone who say they love them, but in turn abuse them. No, you don't go thinking that that's what that person is going to do to you. But when that do happen, you have to really think about what you're going to do so that you can leave. But leave in a way to where he won't know. Because if you just tell him you're going to leave, it's not good to tell them you're going to leave. You just need to leave without them knowing it. They will find out that you left when you left, after you left, rather say. So I not to come on to stay for too long, but I did want to come on and do a live in reference to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Today started that. So you're going to be hearing more people talking about domestic violence awareness. If any of you have seen my page, or I've done some lives already, I've done several in reference to domestic violence. I talked about the types, and I've shared my testimony. And I will share more of my testimony as we go throughout this month once again. Um, but again, be careful when you're talking to someone that's going through, because you don't know what their mindset is. You don't know what he or even she, because men go through this too. I've talked to men that has experienced it, but men don't talk about it the way women do. Why? Because they're men. Who would think that a man would be abused by a woman? But there are men out there that are amazing, loving, caring, respectful men that refuse to do something to a woman. He treats that woman the way he would want someone to treat his daughter, or better yet, the way he know that his mother should be treated. So don't think that all men are like that. But again, my name is Dr. Clara L. Peters, and I'm a voice for the voiceless. I will come on throughout the rest of this month. I will say daily, but I'm not going to make that commitment. Who knows? And I'm not going to set a time because my time fluctuates. And I had planned on doing this earlier, started doing something else, and I was like, you know what? I've got to do this today. But have been, I have been ordained to encourage and empower women to find their voice, to know that they matter, to know that this is not their fault, to help them with any questions, to help them walk it out, to encourage them to know that you are more than enough. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are God's daughter, and you was put here on purpose for purpose. But that was done to you, again, is not your fault. Is not your fault. And anyone that says a woman being abused or even a man being abused is because of something they did, no. I don't care what you do or what you didn't do. You do not do anything to warrant a person abusing you, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. It doesn't. And it hurts. I've been sharing my testimony for a long time. I've been speaking out about domestic violence for a while, but it never get easy. It never gets easy to share my story. In the beginning, I used to feel ashamed, but then I had to realize can't nobody judge me for staying in that relationship for so long. Can't nobody judge me. But they can if they want to. But I only have to answer to him. Period. But one thing that I want to encourage each person that may hear me, each person that may be on here and hear me, know that you're loved. Know that you're needed. Know that you're valued. Speak life to yourself. Don't let no one take your power. And if they have taken your power, you know what to do. Take it back because it's not theirs to have. It's for you. Forgive yourself for allowing someone to continue to do what they did to you in the negative. When people first heard me say that and they was like, why? I'm like, it was on him, but yet I stayed, which means I continued to allow it. So I had to forgive myself for allowing it to continue to happen until I finally said enough is enough. So forgive yourself, hug yourself, speak life. But do know that even in the midst of it all, I want you to get some laughter. I want you to get some love. And I just want you to just live and know that this too shall pass. It shall pass. Every day you wake and just think of positive. Do not think of negative. Do not allow any negative to come into your spirit, man. And walk this journey out. Walk your freedom out. Walk your healing out. And I will say this as you talk about it, it helps your healing. But if you're not able to talk, write it. Just write, 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 write until you get to a point to where you can talk about it. And don't be ashamed because everyone, okay, no one say they're perfect, but everyone has something that they may be ashamed of. It's different from yours, but they still may have something they're ashamed of. And again, don't allow no one to hold you hostage in reference to your past. Don't allow anyone to hold you hostage even in your present. Just say, I choose me. If you're listening to me and you're still in it, choose you. Love you enough to say, I choose me. Now, I'm going to share this. I'm about 5 more minutes and I'm going to get off. When they, so of course, let me back up a minute because it just don't start with them actually just hitting you, verbally abusing you. It starts with them controlling you. If a man knows that he can control you, some men take a woman that is submissive and they would change that to control. And once they realize that they can control you, they feel as though that they have you just where they need you. But I want to encourage you to understand the difference between submissive and control. I was young when I got with mine. I didn't know a lot of things that, excuse me, sorry. I didn't know a lot of things that I know now. Okay, I'm getting hot. This menopause. Excuse me, sorry. I'm definitely gonna have to cut this short. Um, I was young when I got with my ex, so it's a lot of things that I didn't know. But it starts with control, then isolation, and it builds from there. Mentally, excuse me. Oh, I do apologize. Getting hot, getting that hot flash. Menopause is kicking in. So I'm gonna have to get off in just a moment. But I thank each of you that has been listening to me for these few minutes I've been on here. Um, if you don't mind, share what I've talked about in reference to domestic violence thus far. I will be coming on throughout the rest of this month, speaking about domestic violence. But if you can talk to the young ladies that is in your circle and help them to understand about how men should treat that woman. Better yet, if you have little girls and you have sons, teach them at an early age. That way, when they get up, they know how to be. But again, no one goes into a relationship thinking that they're going to be abused. That person can be in a disguise until he has you just where he wants you and he feels as though that he can, okay, I got her now. She loves me. She's going to do whatever I want her to do, blah, 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 blah. And when that happens, it starts the control. It starts the isolation. He don't want you to have any friends. He just wants you, he don't even want you to work. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. But you have to understand, and I say this to, especially to women going into new relationship or even to young girls that is barking upon getting into a relationship, is that don't lose you in that relationship. I lost who I was in my relationship. I had to learn who Clara was. I had to learn what Clara liked, what Clara loved to do, and so forth and so on. I had to start taking myself on dates to see what I like and just fall in love with me. That's the basis of it. I had to fall in love with me to help set me free. So if someone is hearing this that do not love themselves or even like yourself, some days I don't like me for whatever reason, but then I fall deeply in love with me and I started liking me again. And you're going to have that. But how can you show someone how to love you if you don't love you or like you? You set the precedent for how they're going to treat you. Some men may try to overpower you, but then you're going to have to be your voice and let them know, no, I'm sorry. This is how I have been before you. I will compromise on certain things, but you're not just going to control me. And if he feel as though that he has to control your ever being, then he's not the man for you. I don't care how he may look, how things may be. I don't care. Trust me, it's not worth it. It is not worth it at all. I do know that your peace is priceless. My peace is priceless. I'm asked all the time, why are you still single? My peace is priceless. Yes, I've been in other relationships, a couple. They didn't work for different reasons. One is because I'm not just going to settle. I'm not going to settle at all. I refuse to. And the good thing is, me and those, we good. We good. Like almost like best friends. Um, and I love it that way because we realize that it wasn't meant for us to be together. And see, if I'm dating, I'm a wife, not a girlfriend. So I need the women to understand that. You don't want to be a lifetime girlfriend, especially if you know you're a wife. So you need to also set the tone for that early on as well. As you're getting to know someone before you get married to them, lay everything down. Let them know what you good with doing, and but what you're not gonna do. Let them know your non-negotiables. I had a conversation where I had to share some things on yesterday about that. Just someone that was asking some questions and everything. Um, but do do have these conversations with the young ones, and sometimes even the older ones need it. I had someone much older than me came to me and thanked me because she didn't know certain things, and it shocked me. Then another older lady, and I was like, okay, so it's not just about the young ones; it's about all ages. It's about all ages. We need to know and we need to hear certain things, but do love you more. Do love you more, and don't allow anyone to disturb your peace, to have you living life in bondage, to control your every movement, to control you. Life is not supposed to be that way. Some people make life so hard. A relationship shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be. Now, there's things that you have to do every day to keep the spice going and all of that to make sure, you know, you don't get bored. I'm easily bored. Ooh. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead on and get off this right now. But I just wanted to come on, talk briefly about domestic violence, and anything else came up, I will mention it. But do let me know if you can make a comment under this, or you can send me a private message and some things that you may need to hear or you would like to hear or what you would like me to discuss. But I do discuss about life after divorce, life after period, uh, living life out loud to the fullest, domestic violence. I do go and speak about domestic violence. I just spoke somewhere recently in reference to it. Um, it was supposed to last 2 hours, but it lasted longer than that because the people, the ladies, had questions. Well, I had a couple of men there that had questions too. When they come to you with those questions, do not, do not avoid the question. Answer that, and then depending on the question, they may have some. You may need to ask them certain specifics so that you can make sure you answering it to help them as they needed to get out of that situation. But yes, I do speak about domestic violence. I've been keynote speaker. I've been on panelists. I've also written about it. So I'm definitely here to help the women as much as possible in reference to being healed, being set free, loving yourself, knowing that you matter. And again, I'm a voice for the voiceless. I'm going to go ahead on and sign off. And I want every woman to find their voice so you could be free to live life out loud to the fullest, the way you want it to, according to the way He gave it to you, and not be ashamed of who you are or whose you are, and continue to become and evolve into the woman that you desire to be. Continue to wake up each morning, loving life to the fullest. Live, laugh, love with no regrets. Until next time, goodbye. God bless you. Much love.